Is there more people out there, or we're good?
Right.
We'll eventually shut the door. You can go ahead and you can probably, if there's no one really around, then you can probably shut the door.
How many total? What? How many? 40, 39, and 37 failed. So.
Hey, you're good at this.
Yeah. That's why we have.
Yeah. Also, his pants fell down a lot. It's nice. I don't know.
This belt doesn't actually, it's not a functioning belt. It's a utility belt. It's there to look cool. That's about it.
All right, let's get this panel started.
We need a couple of people.
We can start. We can still start.
Hello.
Thank you for coming, by the way, everybody. This is awesome. I did not expect.
Uh-oh. Oh, you're done now. Albert, let's go back up to the window.
Wait, the back in your what?
Are you sure? I have one for this way. Oh, go. Might as well take it.
What's up? What's up?
And we'll go until the end and then.
Okay, go ahead. Start away.
You guys start. I'll be right back. Hi. Hi, everybody. Yeah. We are PaperSwordParty. This is. Let me introduce you.
I am Sheik Chan of PaperSwordParty.
I'm Angelique.
I'm Kai or Kay.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Patara.
Hello. Today's panel, we're going to go over a couple of serious issues. We're going to talk about cosplay culture, cosplayers in the community, and how we interact with each other, and serious issues before we get to the fun issues like cosplay. We really do want to talk about a couple of things like consent and con etiquette, things like that with you. So, if you have any questions at all during the panel, feel free to raise your hand and ask, and we will willingly answer them for you. And if you ask questions, if we can answer them, if you ask a question, we will throw haiku in your face.
Only until we run out of haiku, though.
That's true. We do have a limited number of haiku.
Yum.
We don't have a limited number of questions, though. We want to fill you with knowledge.
And love.
And love. All right. There are 4 topics that we're going to go over. That's consent, con etiquette, con safety, and then just cosplay in general. What we're going to talk about first, we're going to get the serious issues out of the way, and then we can talk about cosplay. So what we're going to talk about first is consent. And we are going to hand it over to our dear little Patara, who has unfortunately the most experience in this area.
So basically, I've had really bad experiences with this almost at every convention. Really? What? Can you hear me now? Sorry. Sadly, I've had experiences like this at every convention that I've been to, whether it be AniJam, WonderCon, or Vanimate, but 3 times, actually. I'll talk about my experiences first, and then you guys can like ask questions and whatnot. So the biggest experience that I've had was at WonderCon. I was in the adult parka version of Katara, just minding my own business with my little brother, who's here in the front. And this guy came up to me. He was dressed as Sith. And he's like, oh, that's a really awesome cosplay. I'm like, oh, thank you. He came up to me, we took a picture, which is completely normal, guys. Like, he asked if he can take a picture, and that's completely okay. Afterwards, he went up to me, he's like, oh, we should, oh, we should sex this up a bit. I'm like, no, because Katara's a very motherly figure. I mean, if you guys have watched Avatar The Last Airbender, she is not at all sexual. And I'm like, no, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just shaking.
Nothing. No, it's okay. You don't have to explain everything. You can just.
No, but so I'm like, no, that's fine. He's like, oh, we should snip here and snip here. He grabbed a hold of my cosplay, and that is not okay. He did not ask for permission at all. And he actually is like, oh yeah, and he like bumped, I guess he was like, high five, I guess, with my brother. He's like, yeah, your girlfriend's really hot. And he's like, oh no, that's my sister. And he's like, oh, incest, that's okay. I'm like, no, that is not okay. And I spent the entire convention hiding from him. Entire
It's
convention.
different things like that, but
Yeah.
so within the community, this is what I want to get out. This has been a really big problem, not just like physically, which has happened a lot to a lot of people, you know, where certain things they expect everyone that could be okay with touching. But just like what she went through, it's more like verbal, even though there was like inappropriate stuff involved. There's especially if you listen to like, if you've been hearing around the cosplay community about like a video that's been out from like Anime Expo with like the people with the videos, and like they had videos cameras on their chest, and they would go and be hugging the girls, and sometimes without permission, and some of them were underage, and there's just a video of like this area, and they had to have it taken down and stuff. So we just want you to be able to like watch out for stuff like that. Just know that even though you're in a loving community, and of course, and we're all very accepting of each other, that doesn't mean there's not going to be bad people, and that doesn't mean you're not going to have to like watch out for what's happening, because like, yeah, no matter if your character might not be wearing a lot, and like you can be perfectly accurate, and that's perfectly fine, but some people take liberties. They expect that things are okay, or maybe they're just being friendly and they just want to hug you, and you're just not somebody who's okay with that. That's consent too. Like, people should not touch you unless you give them permission to, and you don't have to take that from anyone. You make sure to tell them that that's not okay, and if you're not okay with it, of course. And if they're like your friend, you hug them, and you know, whatever. But you can talk to somebody who works at the convention, or just get away from them as fast as you can, because like we all had experience with that, and we just want you to know that it's okay to like say like no and back off. It's not mean and it's not rude, as long as that's how you feel. You don't have to take that from anyone, and it's a really big thing right now. So, or like it's just coming out in the media for cosplay stuff more. So we just wanted you to be aware that things like that happen, especially the cons are getting bigger, and you just gotta make sure that, you know, you're taking care of yourself, looking out for yourself and stuff like that, just normal stuff like that.
Using the buddy system is also really good. Like, when that incident happened, I had a huge group of friends that helped me like evade him at all costs, or if somebody was getting really creepy with me or with another cosplayer, we made sure to take out that person from that situation. I mean, going into conventions with a group of people is a really safe thing to do, because you're checking in with each other. Are you okay? Are you creeped out by this person? Do you want to, I don't know, get away? But yeah, using the buddy system,
Fire's hot up here.
also,
My face is out.
you have more fun with the buddy system too. So, just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
One of my, like, you guys might have this happen, especially if you wear more showy costumes, which a lot of video game characters, especially females, show a lot. Well, one of my friends was dressed up as one of the Mortal Kombat characters, and a guy just grabbed her butt, and she's like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, "Well, that's what you get for dressing like that." And she's just like, "This is the character." And she said luckily her boyfriend wasn't there at the time, because he probably would have wanted to kill the guy or something. But she was really upset and bothered. She's like, I want to be able to dress in my character and not have people being like, well, that's what you get. There's no excuse for touching someone inappropriately when they have no... So that's what happens. I mean, I've had it where I dressed in Berserker Riku. Some of you guys know she has the fur bikini. Well, I'm fine with taking pictures of people when they ask me, but my friends told me they saw guys, mostly, and girls too, But a lot of people I didn't know were taking pictures of my behind in angles that I had no clue was going on. And afterwards, I was like, that's like, I don't know where those pictures are going to go or what's going on. But I didn't tell them it's okay for that. And I had no clue because I can't see back there. But I was just like, I don't dress this way because I'm trying to be, sort of like provocative and everything. I'm dressing this way as my character, and I'm fine with saying like trees, whatever, but.
And if you're fine with most stuff, then that's okay. But if you're not, we're just pointing out.
Yeah, it's when people aren't asking.
There are gonna be people like that. We've met them.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be at small cons, big cons, anywhere. And you're just gonna be careful and don't think that you have to take that from anybody.
With
You
everything,
don't.
there's good people and then there's bad people. So
Yeah.
just be careful.
Nice is not good. Nice is different than good. Just also be aware of that.
Yeah.
Next thing, is that all we want to talk about? For that?
Do you guys have any questions about consent?
By the way, you can ask questions
Yeah.
throughout the thing. We're not gonna wait till the end or something. That's pretty serious, so.
All right, we can go on the next one.
Yeah.
That one's kind of serious, huh?
Yeah.
Next, we want to talk about con etiquette,
Comes to guys too. So.
which is
You guys want to hear? Wait, hold on really quickly. Edit. Really quickly, I wanted to just throw some trivia out there. Since I'm in Disney, it's okay. I guess. It happens to guys too, like anywhere, not even just at cons. Okay, did you know why? The reason why that they do not have the Disney princess walking around Disneyland, the face characters, the men face characters, is because most of the women will harass them and touch them to the point where they're not allowed to be walking around anymore. So it happens both ways. So everybody needs to watch out and don't feel like it's like not, and I'm not gonna say anything because I don't anybody.
don't ever feel like it's your fault. Yes.
If you were to go to a convention as a Disney prince, do you think you get the same effect?
Very
I don't think so. I don't think.
Well, that's a shame.
I think we are attempting to warn people about this happening, prevent it from happening, not encourage it. You're the worst.
Oh, what if someone
Want that one?
No.
Can I have that one?
But if you're okay with things, then that's fine. That's not the problem. It's when they're not okay and don't ask. But if you're okay with that,
Because I'm all over my friends, and as long as you ask for
It's
a
your
hug, they
business
say,
if
yeah,
you
that's
want to hook up
cool.
with
Like, don't think you're gonna be like attacked every 5 seconds. Just,
Yeah.
There are some people who just don't like to be touched. Yeah, I've met them. And that's okay, yes. Anyway, moving on.
Right. The next thing we want to talk about is con etiquette, which is basically behaving properly when you're at a con and when you're around cosplayers. Not
Like, there's gonna
like
be
not to say that you guys are all terrible people and you destroy everything you touch. There are going to be people out there who just they treat their venues terribly and they treat other cosplayers terribly and they don't think about what they do before they do it. And we want to let you guys know that these people exist and maybe there's something you can do to prevent it and stuff like that. One of the biggest issues that I personally see is the fact that venues are they're trashed. Basically, you can walk around and you'll find just like empty soda bottles on the side of like hallways and things, and
abandoned signs.
yeah, and like gum on walls, and I've seen stuff like that. It's pretty terrible, and we don't want to treat our venues like that because that's how we get kicked out of venues, and
So
if
we
too
lose our
many
venues.
venues prevent us from being there, we're not going to have our cons anymore. So if we want to be able to continue to enjoy these conventions that we have, we got to treat it properly. And
That's actually one of the reasons why a lot of hotels are refusing. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine.
A lot of hotels are refusing to have cons anywhere near them, or like have conventions like be able to stay there and stuff, because there's a lot of issues going on with like things being destroyed. Also, the convention area, like there's been conventions I know that they've been like, you can't come back here anymore because people are chewing their gums and like gluing things to the walls with their chewed gum. Because I know you guys don't do that, but we're just throwing it out there just in case, people with like face paint, stuff like this, have been known, like they'll do like full body, and then they'll there's a story where they jumped into like a jacuzzi to like clean off, and they had to empty the jacuzzi and clean it all out, and so they're not allowed to be there anymore, or cosplayers in general, I guess. I don't know how they would prevent that, but they're very, very serious about not having people there. And so yeah, just respect each other. Also respect other cosplayers and their costumes, because there's been, as you guys I'm sure you've heard of glomping people. Okay?
Maybe you should define what glomping is.
Glomping is when you run and you jump on a character because you love them. You know, we all have a good meaning behind it.
Fangirl moment.
Yeah, you get very excited, but it's actually been banned from a lot of conventions due to like injury, because people will tackle people to the ground and hurt them and destroyed cosplays. Also, other things being destroyed from like two people knocking into other things and things like that. And just when you have things being on like us, we have to be very aware of this today. When you like hug people, you know, we want to be like yes, and you can't do that because we're like, oh, okay, I forgot I have like green paint on my face and I don't want to destroy your cosplay kind of a thing. There's been like stories of people like, you know, touching people like full body paint stuff and there's like just paint all over the other person's cosplay and stuff like that.
That actually happened to me at a last con. Someone hugged me and they had face paint on and they left it on my costume.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah,
Be
steal your
careful when you
paint.
hug someone.
That's also for the hotels. They found like can prints on the walls and like somebody tried to. There was a horror story actually where somebody tried to like dye themselves like wigs in a bathtub. So they put like alcohol and like Sharpies in a bathtub and then they got into it and they knocked out. But they also destroyed the bathroom. So they all not only put themselves in danger, but they like destroyed the hotel and they had to pay lots of. Be careful like about stuff like that. You have to pay for it in the end. So.
Isn't
Just
there
be
like
very aware that we need to respect our venues and our hotels and the people who work for the conventions.
Didn't you say like there was some hotels like forbidding like
Yeah,
pull out like
Yeah,
body paint?
Yeah, a lot of cons are talking about like banning costumes that have like full body paint. So like she wouldn't be able to get in, and like a lot of Homestuck cosplayers might not be able to get in because people aren't minding their makeup and things when they're like around the venues and stuff. And I'm like, no, sweetie, don't, no.
That's actually right. One of the reasons we have to get our weapons like checked and stuff responded more. Like it's getting more strict because people are smacking each other with them and hurting each other. So it's just stuff like that. It leads to other stuff that we're just trying to be like preventing. Yes.
The kind of things that are allowed to be made, what kind of materials do they usually allow you to use?
Oh, you can wear whatever. Are you guys like what kind of materials can you wear to like conventions
weapons.
and stuff?
Over props?
Weapons,
Yeah.
props. Well, we thought wood was okay for the most part, but just recently we were at AX and Shiki got. They said that she had to take her wooden like fake prop like sword. It was back to the hotel. They couldn't even have it in the convention
At
center.
AX it's bad now.
Yeah, it's gone way strict.
That's like obviously fake, like colored up and everything, and they have to check it out because they're so scared of like people busting out something. And
I was there when that happened.
they reacted
They were just like, "We need to leave right now." Like she was gonna kill someone.
And I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like.
I'm sure they've gotten that like all day though.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Most
just
cons have a general no metal weapons kind of policy, and when it comes to like firearms, they have to be like obviously labeled with like the orange tip, so you know that it's not a real gun. But a lot of bigger cons are getting a lot stricter.
no wooden anything, you know, just anything that you can smack somebody with unless you like have it piece bonded, which they didn't even let her piece bond hers. And it was just what was it? It was a
Well, it's a practice sword, so technically I could do something, but they used to allow them, and now like Anagem allows them.
But they don't wood, right?
Yeah,
Was
wooden.
Was it a China or?
It was a Vulcan.
Oh,
So they're
Vulcan.
like, you could do stuff. And I was like, okay, sorry, I didn't know. But like Anagem allows that. They don't allow metal, but they allow wooden. So they said Vulcan's okay. So it's like, okay,
It's
it's
more
in here.
the bigger ones,
But
but
the
they can't
bigger
really
ones,
control
yeah.
as much.
Especially
So
with
look
a
out
lot
for
of
that.
stuff going on with people being
Before you
fighting.
go to like a
Go
before you
ahead.
go to a convention, you can always check their weapons policy.
Yeah, check it.
Beforehand on the website, just to make sure.
Yeah,
Because it would suck to get there. I've had that moment where like you get there and like, oh yeah, my costume with my awesome weapon. It's like you need to take everything back to the hotel. And I'm like,
Question. And if you're uncertain about the weapon, you can usually don't use it. You can usually email the staff and be like description or even attach a picture of your weapon, and they can give you a heads up ahead of time if your weapon doesn't fall under their general guidelines.
I still have a question that was asked. You over there, sit down.
American style buffoonery.
It would be your honor to sit down. Step up a sign.
I don't remember the name, but I remember the era of buffoonery. Sorry.
Okay.
That's you, I know, I'm making fun of you. I'm sorry. Oh, no, you didn't say it. That was a golden opportunity, okay? I was just filling in. Moving on.
Okay. The next thing that we talk about is con safety, which deals with weapons and things like that. A lot of times when you're like hanging around cons and stuff, you might meet people who seem great, but might not actually be that great.
And it's so easy to just like, you go to conventions and you kind of just, it's a very open, loving community. And I love being with like cosplayers. What?
It's just your notes.
My notes are really.
I want you to
really
read
silly.
that.
I'll read it. You can read it if you want. They're really like it's really loving community and stuff, and so you get really comfortable. But you got to be aware that there are people who are not going to be. They're going to be nice and they're going to be very like inviting and like But you need to still be aware that there's bad people. It's because we failed and we kind of like did this and we messed up, and that's why we're just talking to you guys. Like we're just like you guys. We just learned from our mistakes, and now we're just telling you guys. So it's not like we know everything. It's like we did some stupid stuff. And we're gonna tell you not to do that stuff.
Don't follow people back to their hotel room.
Don't do it. No.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Nope. We're lucky we got out of there.
We could have died. I thought we were in the Shining for a while.
Dude, there's always
crazy.
Just okay. Now we're getting off topic. Anyway, just be aware that there are people like you can be like comfortable with, but just
If you don't feel comfortable like going with the photographer like offsite of the convention, then just don't go. You can be like, I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable with this.
there's been really quickly. I'm just gonna like explain something that happened. Well, no, it's okay. You're gonna explain it?
What?
You want me to say what?
You're gonna leave them
Which
happy?
one? Your aunt's story. Okay. When I was younger, it was like my first convention, so I was kind of really stupid and really young. I was young and stupid. Okay, so the first time I went to a convention, I met somebody like online on YouTube or something, and I was like, they're like, we should meet at the convention because we're both going, and I was like, awesome. So I'm there, and I had given them my phone number, and they're texting me, and they're like, oh, I'm just across the street. I'm in this like restaurant. You should come. I'm sorry. You should come over here. And I was like, well, let's just meet at the convention, because my friends had told me not to do that beforehand, and I would have probably gone because I'm really naive and I just kind of trust everybody. So, and they're like, oh, no, come over here. And I was like, it's really hard to text. I'm just going to call you. So I called them, and they answered, and it was like lots of fumbling around. And there was like, I could hear a woman's voice, like a grown woman's voice, and this person was supposed to be like 14, like I was really young too. And then this guy was on the other end, and they're like, oh yeah, this is like her dad, and we can't go over there, you need to come across the street. And I was like, I can't do that, and then they just hung up. So, obviously a red flag not to go across the street. Just like when you meet people, just be aware, like I'm not just spouting like after school special crap at you. I'm trying not to, at least, even though it's coming out like that. I've almost done really stupid stuff, and so just be aware that even though people are cool, it's like,
About taking pictures of cosplayers, like, what if you're just like, say you're walking through the convention, and like, do you have to ask permission like every time? Like, if you're just like, oh, you turn around and happen to see a favorite character?
It might be best to, in fact, ask permission, because sometimes you're just walking around, you're like your costume's a bit like off or something, and you want to look really good in the picture, so you might want to like adjust something in your cosplay or like smooth down your
take
wig or
your
something.
hat,
You want to present yourself as best as possible, and you can't do that if it's just like someone just like running down a hallway or something.
Okay.
Also, but if there's like a big group of people taking a picture of someone, you can usually just jump in on that. Because they've already given permission to have all these people take it. If they're posing, like just standing there, then just take pictures. But if they're just like sitting there eating, or like you're behind a bush and you're taking pictures.
I should go with this experience. A friend of mine, cosplay Rufio, he fell for it, at the WonderCon convention, and every 5 seconds or every 5 minutes, he'd be like, Rufio, and he'd get stopped every single time. You were there. And we were sitting down eating, and they're like, oh, can we please take some pictures? Like, can we take the pictures like after that I'm eating? And they're like, no, when we have to go, or like this. And it's always to be like, it's always good to be respectful when they're eating or they're taking a break, because we get really tired.
Well, you guys probably get really tired.
Yeah, probably too. But if you can
no
be
matter
like,
how flattered you are, it's like, I just really want to eat this food. I've been holding it for an hour.
yeah.
So just be
mindful of that. Yeah, you know.
But he
just
really did go for physical.
easy. Sorry, I just need to stop.
Also, a big one happening, like, well, more recently is now that a lot of photographers, they like to do off-site shoots, which a lot of them, they're innocent, they're good, you know, they just want a nice area. But in my case, and I know some other friends, one time, and I'm kind of naive too, and I'm just like, I want to trust people and be like, it's cosplay, it's, you know, everyone just loves the same thing. And there was this one guy who I was kind of getting a weird feeling. He was like, can I have your number? And I was like, well, I'll just see you around later. I'll be in this different costume. And he's like, oh, I really want a picture of this costume. And it was my Berserker Riku. That one's just, it's an eye-getter. And so I was just like, I don't know. And then I was with my friend, and she was just like, actually, we're going to be busy right now. And then he's just like, I really want this photo, but it's better if we go off shoot. So if you're friends, he's like, if you guys are busy, we could just like, I could just take her and we'll just take pictures over. And he explained some area. And I was like, I don't know where that is. And of course I would take my friends. I'm not going by myself. So finally later I just like left it. And every time I saw him, like, he was always looking at me. Like I saw him throughout the whole convention, like the whole weekend. And he's always just like staring. And then like, I would avoid eye contact though. I was just like, and
you don't want to be mean.
Yeah, I don't want to be mean. So I was nice at first. I was like, no, I'm going to be busy. And I didn't want to give my phone number. It's okay to tell people no. So another time was this guy that kept taking pictures of me, asked me if he could kiss me. And I was like, no. I was with somebody anyway, and even if I wasn't, I was like, no, I want to just kiss somebody I don't even know. Just because I don't know. He's like, I really like your character and your costume, and you're really cute. He's like, it's okay if I kiss you. At least he asked, but no. I was just like, and I was by myself at that time.
Be aware.
So just be aware if they say off-site, go with people. Don't go by yourself.
Which it could be totally fine. It could
Not
be
like
completely
it's just
paranoid.
like, yeah, we're not trying to seem so negative. It's just that a lot of things are starting to happen where people are taken advantage of, which is why the consent thing is big online now.
We want you guys to be safe so that you can enjoy the hobby that you love.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
And just know that there are good people.
Yeah, there are going to be bad people out there. There are bad people in the world. We just want you to be aware.
Before we get to the fun stuff, we're almost done.
Yeah, we're almost done with the serious stuff.
Yay! Also, we are cosplayers and we should stick together. I forgot to say this in con etiquette. Is it in con etiquette? Probably. There's gonna be mean people, and some of them are cosplayers. Like people who are bad, they're gonna be, disguised as anybody as a con. Yeah, and they're gonna be really mean. Pretty much like, just be aware that these people there's gonna be rude cosplayers. And people who are like, you're not good enough for this character, I'm more of a fan than you, you're wearing that wrong, you don't have the right body type for that, you don't look right, or, there's just gonna be people rude. We've experienced this many, many a time. At least I have a lot. It happens a lot to me.
They're like, oh, you don't make a good guitar.
Like, why? I'm like, really? That's why. Why your words? Just why.
Yeah, it was mean.
It's just, so just be aware that, like, even though you might not, don't be mean to people because, obviously you're not going to, I hope. But, like, people might attack you for certain reasons which are dumb, like usual. Stuff like, that's, like, really goes to win. Stuff like, people will be, like, kind of rude sometimes when they're wearing the same costume as you. If they're wearing the same character as you, I've had people come up to me and be like, just rude, because they're just like, we're in the same character and now we are rivals. And it's like, no, we're the same character and we love the same character. Let's talk about it, Also, what were the other ones? Is it on there?
I actually almost got in a fight because I was cosplaying this character.
Oh yeah!
Oh my god. She was cosplaying the same character as me and she just came up to me and just pushed me and told me that I make a horrible. I was cosplaying CL from Black Belt. And yeah, we almost got in a fight, but I got into that, so I just like walked away.
Okay.
Yes.
If you don't like the character, or if somebody doesn't like the character you are wearing, sometimes they're rude that way. Like if you're a villain, like I'm Chico, and they're like, oh, like you're terrible, and like, you need to get out of here. And they're serious. Like I can't wrap my mind around that sometimes. But I was a Zula once at a con, and they're like, oh, you're a character, you're like crap, and like you're the worst person ever, and stuff like that. And he's like, well, you realize I'm not actually. It's flattering, but I'm not actually play this character, and you don't have to be mean to me. But yeah, so just be aware people are might do that. It happens a lot to us. And if someone is, what is it? If you don't think cosplay is good enough, if they don't think cosplay is good enough, or doesn't fit their standards, don't listen to these people. They are terrible human beings. Okay. Question.
Is she Soy Phone? I'm sorry, she looks like Soy Phone from Bleach.
Oh no. We're all cosplaying from the same thing.
Random
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Oh, sweet. Yes. I wanted to throw one. She wanted to throw it.
It's actually a Disney Channel show.
Yeah, you guys are all from Kim Possible. Now I see. Because I thought she looked familiar like from earlier, before I started watching Bleach. Before that, I was like, she looks familiar to somebody else, but I just a wild guess.
She's actually digital. Yeah, I'm Yori, the Japanese foreign exchange student that Ron reads in Japan.
I remember her now.
So yeah, just we need to be kind to each other. It's happened on many occasions where like people are just talking crap all the time, and it's just like, you know what, we're all here, we're all having fun, and we're all loving these characters so much that we made the costumes and stuff. We should just give it up.
Love everything.
Question.
Well, sorry to the question, but could I add my 2 cents in?
Yeah.
Also in regards to Jerry, I'm cosplaying Homestuck, but it's also to be considerate of the people that aren't going to conventions. So like if you're out in public going around. As a Homestuck, I've gotten some nasty things sent to me personally because horns and they're all like devils. So it's just the common courtesy also about around in public.
Yeah, there's gonna be people who aren't even at the convention. You go to get food, or sometimes people just wander. Has this happened to any of you guys? If you're at a bigger convention, people are just like wandering around like they're really lost, and they're just kind of like taking pictures of things, but they're kind of almost scared. They're just like, what's going on?
What's going on? Where am I?
Everything. Some people have asked if it's a religion or something.
Yeah. Like, is this a cult? Like,
Well, some people might.
Speaking of religion. Speaking of
okay. Let's just.
I was just saying like
We're not going to go down that.
We don't need to go. There are protesters. You guys will be careful of them. They're gonna be mean too. People are mean. Yes, but yes, you need to be considerate of the people who are off, who are not actually going to the convention, and they don't know what's going on, and they might not be comfortable with it because they don't know what's going on. They literally are like not used to seeing this outside of Halloween and like movies and stuff. So just understand, like we're all used to it, but they're like,
It's all new to them. It's like they don't understand what's going on, so they don't mean to be rude. They just don't understand.
Sometimes when people get negative when they feel uncomfortable. So like, there's gonna be people like that, and also so be aware that they're gonna be negative, and you just build a bridge and get right over it. It's gonna be awesome. Because you're never gonna see them again, so it'll be fine. Did you get candy? Yes. Okay, good. Did you?
No.
Just kidding. Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah.
It's not school anymore.
Thank you for staying. I
Yeah,
love
so
you guys
proud of all
so
of you.
much.
You're right. Now we actually get to talk about cosplay and how to survive at cons and not have your cosplays fall apart, huh?
It's 3:30. Yay! No, anyone? Should we ask if they have questions first, or just go off?
do you guys have any questions?
Yeah. If you have
Put in 2 cents.
Question. Any question?
Yes, a question. When it comes to making your costumes or buying a costume, do you really put in a lot of passion into the character you love so much?
Us personally?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Blood and sweat.
I put in like for my obviously it's not this for my adult parka guitar, I worked like 3 months on that. And I was like day and night, blood and sweat, soul, selling my soul.
Yeah.
But I'm good.
Question, when related to my last question, do you really feel that you were really that character from the show you love so much, or a video game, or manga, anything?
Well, with Katara, we kind of share the same personality.
But we obviously.
I think it's more that we identify with the character and we can find aspects of ourselves in the characters
And that's why
rather
you like
than
them?
actually think we are the character. Because we are able to draw the distinction between what's me and what's not me. But we do really enjoy embodying that character as much
people get really into character, and that's cool too. But I think we're all like, I don't want to become that character forever. Like if people are talking to me and be like, oh hey, my name's Kai, I'm a cosplayer, and who are you, and stuff like that. I wouldn't like go into like full character mode or something. But that's fine. Some people do that. But yeah, it's not something I need to be that day.
You did candy?
You did.
Yes. Okay. If you guys don't have any questions, we'll just like start talking.
And then you can interrupt.
Yeah, feel free to interrupt at any time. I don't know how. Yes.
Oh, well, you probably actually don't have an answer for this question. I was going to say, how do you not get overheated in your costume?
You put in built-in fans?
That is actually a really good question.
Oh, yes.
You really need to make sure that you stay hydrated, drink lots of water, and don't stay out in the sun too much, especially like for this con because it's during the summer and it's not a big convention center that's really air conditioned. You're outside a lot of the times. Don't stay out in the sun a lot and drink a lot of water.
And also, if you're inside, like in here, it's kind of sometimes it's not in this room, but like in the bigger room, sometimes it's even worse than being outside because there's just so much body heat, and then there's like no airflow that like you just need to get out of there. But this is like a perfect example of me messing up and then learning from my experiences. Plan your cosplays according to like the season. Try to think about that more. I know sometimes I do stupid stuff like this, and I'm really hot, but I like her a lot, so I don't care. And sometimes as a cosplayer, you don't want to be angry. Like, I just want to be Chico, and you just, run around. But, yeah, definitely drink a lot of water. And, like, I had a friend that's actually, like, going to school he went to school for this kind of stuff. And he's like, you don't look so good. I feel perfectly fine. And I was like, no, I'm good. And then, like a little while later, like, I apparently was almost, like, fainted or close to passing out. And he's like, yeah, you're not fine, and you need to do this, this, and this. And so, yeah, you just need to be very aware of that. That's a big question. And plan according to stuff. Make sure to stay in cooler areas, drink a lot of water. Sometimes you can avoid it, but just drink a lot of water. Stay in water.
Yes.
What was the weirdest conversation you had with
Huh? What?
Weirdest conversation with fans.
Conversation. Fan.
What were you?
Like being tackled by somebody that loves you so much.
Oh, like the character?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
As a character or just
As anybody.
it's just people coming out?
You probably have more stories on that.
Yeah, you probably
It
have
was It was weird when I was new. When I was new to it, I remember there was this guy and he's like, you know me, right? I watch all your YouTube videos and comment on every single one. I was just like, I don't know who you are, but that's cool. And I was just like, you're just so amazing. I can't believe I'm talking to you right now. It's just like, I'm like nobody. I don't know how you know me. Because I'm just like new to cosplay, but I made a lot of video logs on like all like the things I was doing and making. And so I wanted to take a picture with me, and I was just like, this is cool. But and then the guy wanted a kiss, but that was about it.
I have actually a story with her. Oh my god. So we were at Fanime 2012. Oh yes, I'm talking. She was cosplaying as Princess Serenity. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we were sitting down just talking.
Just saying, I don't like to go there.
We're going there. No. Yeah, we need to talk about it.
It's
the weirdest thing. Don't
It is like it is a thing that we can't talk about because like from one point of view it could seem one way, and you have to think about it from multiple point of views. Like I will comment on it as she goes because I was involved.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue.
So she was, as I was saying, she was cosplaying as Princess Serenity, and this girl comes up to us, and she's like, "Oh, was it really good as Princess Serenity? I bet you I know more about Sailor Moon than you do." And we're just like, we're just drinking our water.
Yeah, like I just emptied out like this swag bag kind of thing you get.
Yeah.
I was just like, ooh, there's things and stuff in here. Like, it was the first day of the con, and I was already exhausted.
Yeah, because we were like 3 hours in the
It's
Fanime
like
line.
15 yards of fabric in that skirt, so.
Yeah. And she's like, I challenge you to a trivia. I'm like, am I playing like Yu-Gi-Oh Monsters?
She actually challenged
what's going
me,
on?
and I was intimidated. I'm like,
And I was just like, sure, I'll
There was no, if you want to.
I'll play with you. And she's like, okay, name all of the Sailor Moon characters in order of appearance. I'm like, okay, anime or manga?
And then she said you were wrong.
And then I said it was wrong. And she's like, well, I'm more of a Sailor Moon fan than you are. I'm like, back away. Just back away. Dude, yeah, she was like really creepy.
Yeah, but you gotta also think, like, if that does ever happen to you, you don't know that person may be, like, mentally handicapped in some way, so, like, do not jump to a conclusion, do not tell them they are weird. Just try and be like, I'm sorry, I need to go meet up with my friend now, like, congratulations on winning the trivia battle. I will go change, I will let people play Sailor Moon. No.
Here's all my life points.
Yeah, but like, try not to be that person, and if that person comes up to you, try and handle it as
best as you can.
mature as you can. Don't like be like, you're creepy, I'm leaving. I almost did. I like to think of myself as an adult, so I said I was going to meet with her. I'm like, my friend needs me. I ditched you. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, you did.
You're terrible. She creeped me out. I'm pretty sure she was bigger than me, but I 5'1", that's easy too. She's also like 12, by the way.
I don't think she was 12. I think she was like 16.
Oh.
Like 12.
Like 12.
Yeah.
Anyone younger than
To
you.
answer your question, that's what happened.
Okay, also, nothing that I can think of weird happened to me. I'm like, I'll think of it like 3 hours from now, and I'll just be like,
On our way home.
that one time with the circus, and I don't know. But yeah, I can't think of anything right now. I'm pretty. Nobody. Someone's cried.
Someone's cried over you?
I wasn't even cosplay. Someone cried over me. But the one. Yeah, they were cute though. It's not a weird experience. It was cute. It's your favorite experience. Yeah, that was my favorite experience. Alright. Yeah. That was a fun question though.
Yeah, that was a fun question. Thank you.
Extra candy.
Did you get a candy?
You ate it.
You did something. Well, I keep forgetting. I have like we have our
Yeah. You need more?
I got a small hand.
Any more questions?
I know where you live.
Any other questions?
You know you want to ask.
Question.
Personally, do you guys base you cosplay based on that you look the most like them, or is it because it's a show that you love to love really, really much?
I do both.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like you really love the character, you're like, I don't give a crap. And you're like, I'm cosplaying, freaking Creek from Borderlands 2 because I want to. He's like a great dude, like a shirt on. Yeah, like, I want you so bad.
And like I'm if you guys seen the show Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Well, one of the characters is really tall and like manly, so like since I love the show and I want to cosplay, I'll probably like cosplay Little Soda Kid.
Sometimes it's like you want to kind of fit the character more, or sometimes your friends will come up to you and you've never seen it before, and they're like, you look exactly like this freaking character, and you don't have a choice. I'm like, so then you go and you look at it and you research it, whatever you want to do. But yeah, for me, it's more like if I like the character and I want to cosplay it, I'll do it, even if I don't do it justice necessarily. It's just like, I love this character. Or I'll find a friend who does look like the character, and I'm like, you do this so I can fangirl over you. That's how I got into cosplay. That's how we were like, you need to cosplay Katara right now. Yeah. She's like, but I da, and she goes, she's in the costume. She turns out a story. So, oh, you had a question.
How many times do you cosplay?
Like different cosplays and stuff?
How many cosplays do we what?
How many have we had?
How many costumes do we have?
My hand is safer.
A lot. There's a lot of little ones.
We've been cosplaying most of us from 2007, right?
Well, 2007. I've been cosplaying.
Really?
Patty.
I've been cosplaying since 2007, and she's been 2009, right?
Yeah, but there's not costumes.
Oh, I have like 35,
I probably have more in like the 20s.
Yeah, I'm close to 20.
But
But a lot of them
intact?
I feel like if they're intact, we have like 2.
If they're still put together and we can put them on right now, I have like 1.5.
And Aang.
Because sometimes you come back from conventions and things are just. Sorry, we gotta go.
Well, I said in convention and I still have like I've done 7 so far.
It's
So I'm really new to this.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Bye.
If you actually want to see the different kinds of cosplays,
You
that's so nice. You're so great. I want to hide under the table.
And if you want to see the different cosplays that we have done over the years, the cards do have links to different places.
Question.
Yeah. Sorry.
What would you say is a good turnaround time for a costume? Like, should you, like, depending on how hard it is, like, do you want to do, like, in months? Like, would you take 3 to 6? What would you say is, like, too long, what's, like...
To make it?
Yeah.
Oh.
You put into a costume.
Some. Go ahead, I talk a lot. It's okay.
We tend to leave things to the last minute, so you might not want to listen to us exactly.
Not all of us. We plan.
Some of us get their cosplay started like a couple of months before, which is it's a pretty good thing to do.
Some people
like
are better
2 or
under
3
pressure.
months before for like a decently simple cosplay would be fine. But if it's more complicated, like armor or like intricate sewing or something, you might want to start a little bit before that. This was like a week or something, but it's
I made this last night. Sometimes it's like, you know, you don't even have a set date. You're just like, I'm going to work on this as I go, and when it's done, I'll take it somewhere, and that way you're not stressed out. Some people are better under pressure like us. We like to set a date, and we're usually like down to the wire. But
We've actually signed a contract.
well, these two usually.
We've signed a contract with our cosplay group saying in blood that
Yeah, we signed it.
we're gonna finish this costume by this time, or else we're going to wear that costume.
Because sometimes we're like, I mean, it's happened to me multiple times when it's the night before the convention, and there is no night before the convention. It's just one long day. And then you drive, which is not good.
And then you bring your sewing machine to the
Yeah, and then you bring your sewing machine to the hotel and you're sewing it out. Like, we've all had those experiences, but it's always good to plan ahead. You know, we're always going to tell you that, but are we always going to follow it and like be like
do as
perfect?
we say, not as we do.
Yeah.
If it's more intricate, do like 3 months or more ahead, like I did for a costume.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like one question. There's another one.
Sorry. Go.
Oh, yes, say what you need to say. Say what you need to say.
What's your favorite, like, favorite aspect of the character you're playing right now?
Our favorite aspects.
Cosplaying as right now.
Personality-wise, the fact that she knows what she's doing and she can get things done. Like as the actual costume itself, I really love the pants for some reason. I don't know, it's just I have like 6 different pockets and they're like a foot deep or something. I'm like, I can put like children in here.
Maybe it's a nephew or something. I have those.
I like all of these. I kind of like. I mean, they like Kim Possible, but I kind of rounded them up. Like, I really want to cosplay this. You guys should do it with me. Personality-wise, I would say, just like for Kim, for instance, like she's a cheerleader in this cartoon, and she's not portrayed as this total ass. Like she's like, oh sorry. She's not mean. She's not a mean person, and she can be that. She can still be into fashion and be like, you know, totally like girly girl feminine stuff. I mean, not to be like, you know, but she doesn't have to be a jerk about it, and she can still do the right thing, and like so it's kind of to like show off like, you know, stereotypes. They don't always necessarily like work that way. And I like Shigo because she's sassy and she's hilarious and really sarcastic. I love sarcastic humor. And for the cosplay, I love being her. I love her personally. Just I don't even care. It's hot. I'm not gonna lie, and it's kind of like it's like I'm covered from head to toe, and whatever's not covered is covered with paint. But she's totally worth it. She's just cool. That's the only explanation I have for her.
Dragon's just
I'm just in love with him.
really
He's a
good.
trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the relationship between Shigo and him. So it's fun to cosplay. And Shigo. You have an opinion for me?
Also me? I like it that she can be like fashionable and be like, I'm in your face and don't mess with me. Yeah, and I like the costume because it's really comfortable. Thank you.
I just like cute little characters that kick butt. And I know my character, it's Yori, she's only in a few episodes. And I also wanted to be with my group. Part of being in a cosplay group, sometimes you just do things. You just do a cosplay, even though you weren't really planning it. You're just like, all right, I'll whip this out for you guys. I know this character, and I usually cosplay the little cute characters.
Sometimes it's good to bend, like if you're in a cosplay group, just like even if you're not necessarily completely in love with that show, like if your friends really love it, it's always fun to cosplay with them anyway, because then they get really excited and you're like, I'm gonna do this with you, and they're like, yay. Okay, Miinues, please.
You mentioned about being hot. What type of fabric did you make your costume out of? I'm wondering if you would use cotton, if you would use.
Oh, I'm sorry. It has to be stretchy because it's like superhero. It's spandex.
Sometimes you can find stretchy cotton.
Yeah, it's spandex. I just use like normal spandex and like stuff that bodysuits that you just find on the internet are made out of, like lycra stuff. And I think it's just because I'm so covered and there's no like air anywhere, and then there's a wig and then the paint, and I just feel kind of like trapped inside of it. But I don't care because I love hers.
Last 2 questions.
Last 2, why?
Oh, we have 10.
Okay, go ahead.
I have another question.
Sure.
You do know in some conventions where you actually do see the cosplayers absolutely being like the hero and the villain from the show or anything else. Like, what would happen if you end up in a situation where you have to act out like a character in the show?
Wait, as a fun?
Wait, so like a half and half?
Yeah, no, like, say like you meet another cosplayer and it isn't your friend, and say like it was like the hero or the villain, and they're like a really crazy fan all of a sudden, you got caught in that situation.
Well, I guess that comes down to being able to talk with a person and like discuss your own personal boundaries. Because if you're not comfortable with being that in character with someone, then it's something you need to discuss with the people that you are with. Yes. But if you're okay with it, then have fun.
Yeah, dude, go for it. Like, just go.
Yes.
Number 2.
I had another question. If you guys usually do kind of 2 parts. Do you usually do group cosplay? If you do group cosplay, do you usually role play together off and on?
Yeah, the cosplay, sometimes, I mean, like, just for fun, like, we'll just say lines or something, or, like, sometimes we'll make videos for fun, like, just, in character or whatever, but I can't stay in character all day, unless I'm, like, for a job.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
When we did Avatar, we did a lot of that because we all loved Avatar.
Yeah.
And so last year we did the Fire Nation outfits, and some of us were from like the Fire Nation side, others were, it's like the episodes and
It was book 3.
Yeah, book 3. Basically is what we all cosplay from, and so sometimes as she was Azula, and I was Suki, so I was, Team Avatar, and we would just like, she would scoff at us, or we'd say things back and forth, and then we'd be like our regular selves, and other times we just like get into our characters, and it gets really fun, especially around other people that like watch, and we're just like, yeah, really fun. Right. Anyone else?
Yeah, so it's fun. Sometimes it's fun we do that, but we don't like to. Okay. Raffle time.
She has a question and answer her question.
We need those numbers on the paper in order to do it. Yes.
What was the cosplay before last year?
That we took? Here. Okay, so last year was Avatar, Fire Nation. I think the year before that, wasn't it like Annabelle?
Fire Nation A.
No, she was the year before.
The year before what?
The year before when we were here.
Oh, we did Hitalia.
Oh, we did take Italia stuff.
I was she made Italia, and then I was in Italy, and then she was
Germany. And then Shiki was Japan.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, girl. Yeah. Cute characters. She likes the cute little. So, Japanese characters, and I don't think Angelique cosplayed with us.
She did a video game.
Yeah, you cosplayed for bonus year.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Regular or chibi?
Huh?
Regular or chibi?
Oh, he did Chibi Italia, like, for a little
Chibi
bit.
Italia,
And then he did, like, we did the pajamas ones where he has, like, I did Germany where he has the bonus boxers and the patches sewn on there. That was fun. Anyway, we're gonna do raffle-y things now.
Raffle-y things?
If you can't read the number on the back of the card, I'm sorry, I will tell you what it says.
Why?
We want to pull random number.
Ooh, that's fun. Ooh. Because we didn't plan ahead.
30 raffle tickets.
Guys.
I want it.
I'll hand things out.
Pretties.
Huh? Pretties. Hey.
Oh, after that.
Thank you guys for staying. This was fun. I'm glad you guys. Hope you liked it. questions. I'm like excited about this. I'm nerd. I'm sorry. I'm just like, wasn't that fun? No, shut up.
You want to talk about the prizes we have?
Oh yeah, we have prizes. I'll show them off while they're looking for things, so you guys know what you want. And if you're like, yeah, I don't like any of that, you can leave.